to be responsible for coordination of the project portfolio of the provincial government. That means we will be helping the provincial government to make sure that all the projects for infrastructure development that we are responsible for as the provincial government have been tested to check their level of readiness so that these projects could be delivered faster. Because our people want to see change in the areas where they live. So we have developed a capability which we call the Project Readiness Matrix. This is a tool to make sure that we can deal with all the things that delays faster implementation of projects. So we have built this capacity and capability, and we've found an innovative way of making sure that we can fast-track projects and give communities their schools, their libraries, clinics, and all sorts of resources that community need. Suppliers and contractors are worried about 30-day payment being paid earlier. All these delays that affect the speed with which we can deliver projects also affect our capacity to pay small contractors in time. So one of the things that we must say to our service providers, to our communities, is that they must start to ask questions about how ready is this project to be delivered quick and fast within its budget and at the right level of quality. So the Project Readiness Matrix is going to ensure that communities know what type of questions to answer and how to make sure that there's transparency, there's accountability, and there's good impact on the living conditions of the people. We'll be looking at solutions, products, or even technologies that enhances buildings that are adaptable to changes in climate conditions. We're also looking as a province to make sure that as we deliver services to the people, we don't destroy the environment. That is why we are going to be rolling out massive renewable energy by mounting solar panels on top of our schools, our clinics, our libraries, government offices, so that Gauteng province can contribute to preserving the environment, making sure that we don't rely not only on coal-powered stations, which of course put massive pressure on the environment. So we've got to make sure that as we deliver services, as we do our work, as we improve living conditions of the people, we don't destroy the environment. So from a maintenance point of view, from delivering new infrastructure, we must have green buildings. These are buildings that are adaptable to changes in climate conditions. Learners in a class, for example, need to learn in a condition where when it is extremely hot, the building should be able to adapt and be cool so that learners can study better. When it is extremely cold, we need buildings that can adapt and increase a little bit the temperature so that learners can learn under better conditions. So these are the type of green technologies we're looking for. The other problem we have is that buildings are burning because they have got material inside that when it catches fire, it burns quick and fast. So we've got to change that. So there are many things that we are going to do to preserve energy, to protect our buildings against hot weather, fire in case it breaks, floods in case they were to come. We need to do landscaping, tiling that is adaptable to those type of conditions. We are interested in green technologies because that's where the world is going. And there's massive evidence in the world to demonstrate that countries that are focusing on green technologies, on green solutions, are the ones that are able to create jobs. Our economy has not been growing. Many people are not employed. The current mining, agriculture, manufacturing sectors are not creating jobs. So we need to look at green solutions because Those are the economies of the future, and that's where we can find jobs. We have got to look at our education system. We have got to look at partnership with universities to reskill our people in the direction of preserving the environment, creating jobs, and making sure that people live better. We've got to make sure that as a province, we lead the new economy, which is the economy that is based on green, renewable, sustainable technologies. The benefits arising from the green economy, green infrastructure are quite massive. One of them, for example, is that unemployment rate is high in our country. People don't know what are the new type of businesses they can engage in, because the current businesses are saturated. The products are no longer selling. Some of the things are no longer relevant to the current period. People want to know, how do they survive in a cold weather? How do they survive in an extremely hot environment? So engaging in exploring the green economy, we are quite confident that we can tap into the creativity of the youth, into the creativity of young people, as artisans, as engineers, as quantity surveyors, because we need now people who can help us. How do we make sure that Gauteng buildings, from a school to a clinic, can be able to survive hot weather, can be able to survive cold weather, extreme rainy conditions? So the jobs of the future economy are going to come from green technologies. So let me make an appeal to our people that please look at how to work with universities, research institutions, small, medium, micro enterprises to find solutions that are sustainable, that are going to create green solutions, because humanity is faced, unfortunately, with a very difficult changing environment. And I'm calling on new businesses to do a review and check if their businesses are sustainable. You might find that you are currently basing your business on coal, for example. That may not be sustainable. Burning liquids, manufacturing businesses that in the next 10 years might be contributing to causing problems in the environment. So the green economy is going to help us to answer to the issue of jobs. If I was just to give a practical example, the EPWP workers that we have, they are not being properly trained or not being trained at all. So now we need to enter into partnership with TVET colleges and universities, find students who can research solutions, skills, and things that we can use to preserve the environment. So we're going to have to reorientate many of the people in our province that don't have skills and may not even know in which areas should we be going to, what should we be trained on. So this issue of the green economy, green solutions, green innovation, green infrastructure, green spaces, green environment is exactly what we need. We're going to also be using our campaign to preserve properties, the Care We Care campaign, to go on a mindset change. We do have in the townships places that are neglected. They could be turned into green spaces. Everybody in their yard, they could look into how to turn their yards into green solutions. People could be looking at how to acquire, use solar panels as communities. For example, there are examples in Germany, as one country I can quickly think of, where communities are using solar, they generate electricity, and they sell back to government. These are some of the solutions that people have got to look at. Every household has got massive opportunity for going green. And people can come together and look at spaces in the township, make them green. Some of them are being used for crime. So the opportunities are great, and as government will be taking the lead, educating people, sending messages, taking people to change their minds, their thinking, their attitude, and starting to embrace the environment. Because after all, environment, nature is the source of life. We mustn't destroy it. We must be thinking about how to interact with it to preserve our lives. So as the provincial government, as the Department of Infrastructure, green is where we're going. Green is better, sustainable, it's exciting, it makes places look nice, it brings health, and I can assure you we are going green all the way. And I think we're calling on everybody to think green so that we can be a green nation, sustainable and with balanced development.